Good morning, Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with you with an update on our coming winter storm for tonight across wave country. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday morning so far, and I hope you enjoyed those 60-degree temperatures yesterday. That was great, wasn't it? I went out for a run, and it was fantastic. But we're going to have a major change today. We already have one out there as temperatures have dropped dramatically. We're in the 30s across the area. We have some icing problems in portions of our northern viewing area. We'll show that to you here in a second. So let's get right to the maps. Here's the winter storm warning that we have for tonight across the Louisville metro area and points southward. So basically, if you live south of the Ohio River, except for Carroll and Trimble counties, you're going to be in that winter storm warning. This is not in effect for portions of Hart County, Taylor, Greene County, even down into Adair. You guys are the exception because of some warmer air moving into your neck of the woods. This is going to be in effect from 4 p.m. Sunday to 7 a.m. Monday. So the Monday morning commute might be a dicey one. In fact, it's looking that way right now because the snow will be ending, but the snow will still be there after it has fallen. Winter weather advisory in the blue for just about all our counties in southern Indiana, except for Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings counties, and again, the counties you see there in southern portions of Kentucky. Here's the current radar setup. We've got rain falling to our east. We saw that earlier this morning. It's long gone, and thank goodness, too, because temperatures are dropping, or they have been dropping this morning, and that's not good news for the roads and for the potential for freezing rain. But since the rain is out of here, we can now breathe somewhat of a sigh of relief just for now. But off to our south and west, look at all that snow out there on the Oklahoma-Texas border. Childress, Texas, out there in the little crook of the Texas Panhandle, got pretty good snow this morning. Looks like Oklahoma City, the southern portion of it, getting some okay snow at this point. But what we really want to focus on is the fact that we have an upper-level disturbance out this way that's going to be swinging on through as we go throughout the day, and that's going to help spur an area of snow that you already see developing out here. And that'll track on into Kentuckiana as we go throughout the afternoon hours. Current temperatures, something we've been watching all morning. We're now below freezing in Jasper, Paoli, Salem, Seymour, North Vernon, and Bedford. That's not good because we've got water on the roads, and that water could potentially freeze. So if you're up in those areas, be very careful. The good part of this, though, is that we will be warming just a few degrees as we go throughout the day. Here in Louisville, I think we'll see 36, 37 degrees, somewhere in that range. Whereas up there for you guys, I think you'll get up to about 33 or 34. So that'll help the roads so they won't be freezing those roadways as we go throughout probably the early afternoon hours. Problem is the temperatures drop again as we go into tonight. Let's show you that on Futurecast. The rain's out of here, and then we get a round of snow as we go into your late afternoon into your early evening hours. Here in Metro Louisville, I think somewhere between the times of 5, 6 o'clock, we're going to see snow begin to move into the area. You'll notice temperatures here on Futurecast, about 33 degrees here in Louisville. I wouldn't pay attention to that exact number. Just know that it'll be near freezing. It might take an hour or two, maybe even 3 in some cases, to get that snow started here in the metro. But certainly for areas just north of the river, New Albany, into Jeffersonville, maybe into Sellersburg, Indiana, you guys might switch over first before Louisville goes all snow. The reason the snowfall totals will be lower to our south, well, those temperatures, 36 in Campbellsville, 36 in Munfordville, plain rain down there, and if any snow is falling, probably won't be sticking to the ground based on that alone. Snowband continues to just move through here through the overnight, so we've gone from 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's still snowing here on Futurecast. Temperatures are squarely below freezing here in the metro at 31, 30 in Corydon, 30 in Shelbyville. And there's potential that we could see just a very small bit of freezing rain the farther south you go. I think this would be reserved for areas of Adair County, maybe southern portions of Taylor County into Greene County, maybe even Hart as well. Just some warmer air moving in aloft. We'll have warm air moving in aloft here, but I don't think it'll be powerful enough to switch us over to any sort of freezing rain threat. Looks like a snow threat at this time. Of course, we'll update you if that thinking changes. Snow continues to move through until about 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then it moves off to the east by 9. We're clear from the snow, may have some flurries or snow showers still around, but the morning commute could be treacherous because we'll have the snow that has already fallen. Temperatures will be in the 30s and the 20s, so below freezing in most spots. And we could even have a little bit of an issue with the water on the roads that has been from the rain that we've had earlier today, still being there somewhat and creating an ice situation as we go through the overnight. So kind of a plethora of things that we're looking at for tomorrow morning. The good part, the silver lining, is that the snow will be out of here for the most part, for most folks, as we're going throughout, say, the mid to late morning hours. All right, so that's how that breaks down on Futurecast. Here's the RPM model, and the reason I'm showing this to you is because I think this has a decent handle on snow amounts. Actually, this has just changed. This is a brand new set of data I'm just looking at just now. It just came in, and it's now putting down nearly 5 inches of snow in Metro Louisville, and it's got that snow band lined up right across the river. There have been so many flip-flops in the models over the last, say, 12 hours or so. It's been ridiculous, really, at this range out. But that happens. They're computer models. All right? They are based on the chaos theory, as Brian will tell you, and any little change can reverberate through the model and change things drastically. So the RPM's putting down about 5 here in Louisville, 4 in Corydon. It's got that snow band actually stacked all the way up to Salem and North Vernon. That's a bit farther north than it had it before. Really, the cutoff for the heaviest snow was right along the river. So now this model run looks like we're about a tier of counties northward on where the heaviest snow sets up. And it steals the snow away from E-Town, Litchfield, Lebanon, and then for folks in Campbellsville, Munfordville, you don't see much at all, per this model. This is a model, not a forecast. We'll tell you that over and over again. Here's the NAM model, and it has had some changes over the last 24 hours as well. Last night, the 0Z run had the snow stacked up right across the river with that heaviest band. Now it's to the south. We saw that southward trend on the RPM earlier. Now the RPM's going back on that, almost to what the NAM looked like last night. So it almost looks like we've got two scenarios in the models evolving. We've got a snow band across the Ohio River squarely, and then a snow band just to the south of the Ohio River that still affects Louisville, but portions of southern Kentucky get in on some of the snowfall as well. Very challenging forecast given the data. Here's the GFS model. Now, we don't really use this for forecasting this far in, but this is more for entertainment and verification purposes only. At this point, we are looking at about 4 inches in Louisville. It gives you the general idea of a snow band. It's very coarse because it's a very large-scale model, but it gives you the idea of a snow band setting up somewhere in this area here along the river. So that's interesting as well. Here's my official snow accumulation forecast. I've got 2 to 5 inches, basically from Louisville, Jeffersonville, New Albany, let's say Corydon too, on southward to E-Town, down to LaRue County, even into Washington County, Kentucky. All right, and I think these 5-inch amounts will be more of the isolated variety, but somewhere between 2 and 4 inches will be pretty common in this area. And, of course, some folks could pick up those 5-inch totals. 1 to 2 inches down toward Campbellsville, Munfordville, into Greene County. And, again, this may shift around, too. All this is subject to change based on some of the data that's coming in and how this actually plays out. But it looks like right now 1 to 2 inches is the best bet as you go south and as you go just north of the city as well for our first tier of counties there in southern Indiana. Then an inch or less down toward Adair County where the warm air is going to win this one for the most part. And then the snow band will be mostly south of areas toward Paoli, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings counties, even into Jefferson County, Indiana. So your snowfall totals may be an inch or less in those areas. All right, here's how things are going to play out overall. A rain to snow transition occurs by late afternoon. Any showers we have out there by, say, 4 or 5 o'clock, those are going to snap into a snow mode, and then that snow band's going to come on through as we go throughout the evening hours. Hazardous travel overnight is a good bet within the heavy snow band, wherever that sets up, especially because we'll be having those temperatures falling to just below freezing. And amounts, looks like 2 to 5 inches south of the river. And there's just one more thing, as Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs, would say in his keynote presentations. We've got another system we got to watch, and this is going to be on Tuesday. And the deal with this is that I think this is mostly going to be a rain event. I think 80 to 90% of the area will see plain rain out of this for the most part. That's good news there. The problem is we got to worry about that 10 to 20%. Because it looks like portions of southern Indiana could start off as snow or freezing rain during this system. And it could come all the way down to Louisville as far as we know it right now, just based on how the data plays out over the next couple of days. This will be very interesting to track, but I think the low track at this point, the way it's going, will preclude many huge issues with an ice storm or anything like that, at least here locally in Louisville. For folks in southern Indiana, this is something you'll definitely want to keep an eye on. As we go through time, you notice the warm air moves in, but we still could have some icing issues across our northern tier of counties, Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings. So we'll keep watch on that. And, of course, Brian Good will be in this evening to keep track of the snow with you. He'll be in this evening to make sure that folks know exactly where the snow is going to fall and update you throughout the evening on Wave 3 News at 6 and 11. For now, I'm meteorologist Ryan